Hi guys, welcome back to the James Bond Show. I'm your host, Krazy Kajeevie, with no fears, limits, or substitutes. And my co-host here is Double O Scooby. And he's all alive and awake today and getting ready to do a great show. Okay, speaking of great shows. Now, guys, this is a topic and a story I've wanted to speak about for a long time here on the James Bond Show, and I am finally doing it. Okay, so the title: Quentin Tarantino has to make a James Bond film. I am so adamant about this, and so I want to talk about this. I want to put forward some facts of what happened, how Casino Royale came about, how Tarantino was kind of involved with it, what he wanted to do, and also his views on what happened after Casino Royale went ahead with Daniel Craig, and of course not the vision of Quentin Tarantino. Now, whether you love his films or hate his films, the guy is a genius. He is a phenomenal filmmaker, and also whether you agree with his personal opinions or what he gets up to in his personal life, the guy literally hires prostitutes to suck his feet. I have seen video footage, I've actually seen video footage of Tarantino making way into his property, or a place he rented, I think in Vegas, and he's got all these literal hookers with him, and many of these prostitutes have come out and spoken about how the guy would hire them to basically do foot fetish stuff to him. He's got a crazy foot fetish. The guy is batshit crazy, I get it, but he is a phenomenal filmmaker, and there is no other Tarantino. There's no one like him when it comes to his style of filmmaking. And what does that bring us to? This is the book, Casino Royale. This is the book that Tarantino wanted to make. Now listen to my words really carefully, because this is so important. There's the book. Notice what I said. Tarantino wanted to make the book, right? That's what he wanted to do, with some slight variations. But I'm going to get into this. I'm going to get into so much detail for you if you don't know about this story, and also to prove why I believe that right now, for Bond 26, Quentin Tarantino should be brought in. Now, you may think, no, not Tarantino, whatever. I promise you, after you hear all this and you hear the reasoning, right, especially as I bring it into the COVID age, etc., and where Eon is at the moment, and where the film industry is, and the fact that we've seen no dollars coming yet for No Time to Die, I'm going to convince you that Quentin Tarantino has to direct a Bond film. Okay, Casino Royale is, as far as the novel, it's tight. It's basically one location. There's a few different flashbacks, especially how Bond got his 00. Now, those I would call them scenes, right? Because they would be scenes in the Tarantino film. Those two takings of the lives that Bond does did not make its way into Casino Royale. Now, a lot of people love Casino Royale, the 2006 version. And look, as far as the James Bond film formula, even though there's no Q and there's no money penny and there's no proper gun barrel at the start, except for after the PTS, or at the end of the pre-title sequence they do the gun barrel, and that was done in a very great way. Casino Royale, the Daniel Craig version, is a big, bombastic, great Bond film with a great mix of humour, action, Fleming, etc. However, there's one thing that is not even up for debate. They did not stick to the novel. They took great elements out of the novel and they brought it into the future. We get that, we know that, and they did an incredible job. Now, Daniel Craig did an amazing job. He was fantastic. He changed my mind about him. I did not want him as Bond. When I heard he was cast as Bond, I'm like, no, this is so wrong. I saw the trailer of Casino Royale, I'm like, okay, I could really be wrong here. And then the opening pre-title sequence in Casino Royale, done in black and white, and we're going to get back to that a little bit later, changed my mind. I thought, wow, this guy, this is Fleming's James Bond. So kudos to him. But prior to that being made, Quentin Tarantino had a meeting They got completely pissed. He and Pierce Brosnan had a meeting over a whole bunch of Mai Tai and martinis, etc. And Tarantino said to Brosnan that he wanted to make Casino Royale. Now, at this stage and prior to that, even Cubby Broccoli was on record to say, obviously at this stage Cubby Broccoli's now dead, but when he was alive, he even said Casino Royale was unfilmable. And Tarantino believed also that Broccoli and G. Wilson were also of that belief that Casino Royale were unfilmable. Tarantino and Brosnan, they have this drinky slasher meeting, they're getting sloshed, and Tarantino drops his ideas. Brosnan takes these ideas to Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, and they dismiss it, right? They dismiss it, it's not going to happen. Then, soon after, they get rid of Pierce Brosnan. Now, I wasn't sad that Pierce Brosnan left. I thought his last two films were pretty atrocious. World Is Not Enough is borderline good fun Bond. It's okay. But it really lacks in parts. And Die Another Day, as we all know, it was an abomination. Okay? So, Barbara Broccoli, Michael G. Wilson, they've now got the rights to Casino Royale. Now, what I want to say on that too, guys, is, and sorry if I'm going back and forth like a Tarantino film here, but Tarantino is actually trying to get the rights of the Casino Royale novel. So prior to them going back to Eon Productions, to Barbara and that, Tarantino was trying to get the rights because he knew it was the one Bond story out there that they didn't have. That's how much he wanted to do it. When they got the rights back to the book, he was like, okay, I can't do this on my own. I'm going to have to do this through them. So, did he start kissing a little bit of ass? Maybe he did. But these are the comments he said. And obviously he was trying to kiss a little bit of butt and get in with Eon because he really wanted to direct this film. So, these are quotes from Quentin Tarantino. They've got this gigantic franchise. They can't do anything wrong with it. Let's just this 1 year go my way and do it a little differently. I won't do anything that will ruin the series. So he was really adamant there. So he's saying they've got this great big franchise. They can't do anything wrong with it. But for 1 year, let's do something a little differently. Let's go my way. I won't ruin their franchise. Okay, so let's put that in the memory bank. Okay? This is what he also said. If I owned the material, I would set it in the 60s, but I'm sure I'd have to do it in the now. So, Tarantino's vision was to make Casino Royale as a direct sequel to 1969's On Her Majesty's Secret Service. That's what he wanted to do. Now, would they have brought in material like the end scene of On Her Majesty's Secret Service with Lazenby? Because it's so ingrained in the James Bond lore, but would they have CGI superimposed Pierce Brosnan into that scene? So they show that scene, right? Maybe de-age Brosnan, have a younger Brosnan in the scene with Diana Rigg. This is just my 2 cents of, I think, how they could have done it, or maybe would have done it. Or Tarantino would have completely reshot it with a different Tracy. But I think if they were going to do a true continuation, they use that scene. They use CGI, kind of like they did with Forrest Gump and all that, and they put Brosnan into that scene. He loses Tracy. Then we're years later, say we're 10 years later, and Bond's an absolute mess. So this Casino Royale is not the start of Bond as a 00 in a way. Now, Tarantino could also film those scenes of how Bond became a 00 in flashbacks, which would work incredibly well. And of course, what does Tarantino always do? He makes his films in the final edit in a non-linear fashion. So it would be a sequel to On Her Majesty's Secret Service. It would be dark, it would be moody, it would be gritty. Now, he also said here in this section, if you notice, where he said, if I owned the material, I would set it in the 60s. But I'm sure I'd have to do it now. So he was prepared to do it their way. Now, the reason he said, I've done a lot of research on this, over the last few years, actually. The reason he said, I'm sure I'd have to do it now, is because he realised to get in there that they would most likely want a continuation. So they would want a continuation after Die Another Day to keep that timeline going. So it wouldn't just be this one standout film that would seem out of place. And he got that. So most likely, because of that, he would shoot it in colour. However, what he wanted to do was set it in the 60s and shoot it black and white. Now, this novel, like I said before, guys, this has never really properly been made. The 1967 spoof completely cocked it up. Look, I've never watched it. I've obviously seen the trailer, seen scenes of it, but I've refused to watch it. And people say, oh, as a Bond fan, you should watch it. Well, look, you know what? I'm kind of softening. Maybe one day I will, but still now, I just love Fleming so much. I love this book. I love the Casino Royale 2006 version, and I just really don't want to watch that spoof version. But this has still never been made. Now, Tarantino specifically said he wanted to do it as a low-budget thriller, a Fleming thriller. That is a low budget on film. If it was truly done as Fleming wrote it, it would be a low-budget, non-big set piece. And he specifically said he didn't want to do big set pieces. So what Tarantino really wanted to do was to bring this novel in a very hardcore, strict way. Now, in Casino Royale with Daniel Craig, if you guys have recently seen, if you haven't checked it out, I've done, with my Dissecting the Directing series, I have recently done the torture scene from Casino Royale. Now, if you have a look at that, there's a tameness about it. Now, obviously with censors and whatnot, you know, they were clutching at straws with certain things. However, Tarantino films, it would probably be an R rating, right? Wouldn't stop kids getting it on Blu-ray, DVD. They could get it and download it, whatever, right? Okay? But with Tarantino doing that torture scene, he would do it like the novel. He would do it to the point where Bond's puking everywhere, fainting, passing out. There's no way Bond would be talking the way Daniel Craig's Bond did. And can you imagine also the casting of Quentin Tarantino's Casino Royale? Now, apparently he wanted Uma Thurman to play Vesper Lynd, okay? I don't know if I'm so hot on that, but they've got a great working relationship, other than the fact she hurt herself while filming Kill Bill 2. And there's a little bit of tension about that and came out years after, but I'm sure they've got a deep love and respect for each other. So he wanted her to play Vesper Lynd. And apparently he wanted, and I actually dig this, and hey, he wanted a first black Felix Leiter before Casino Royale brought in a black Felix Leiter. And maybe they brought in Jeffrey Wright as Felix Leiter, and they were going the black Felix Leiter route because of Tarantino's idea. Tarantino wanted Samuel L. Jackson as Felix Leiter, and I think that would have been really interesting. I think Michael Madsen, now of course Michael Madsen was in, right, a regular Tarantino actor. He was in Die Another Day as Falco or whatever. He was terrible in that. He was so badly used. But if he was Felix Leiter in a Tarantino Casino Royale, especially black and white and everything, he would be awesome. He would be a great Felix Leiter because he's way much more, give him some straw hair, he's way much more like Felix Leiter in the novels than obviously Samuel L. Jackson ever could be. Okay, so there's a couple more points here, guys, that I wanted to look at. So after Casino Royale came out with Daniel Craig, Tarantino was doing the circuit rounds and he was on the Jonathan Roth show over in England because he speaks like that, Jonathan Roth. And Jonathan Roth, I can't stop doing that, asked Tarantino, he said, didn't you want to make a James Bond film? And Tarantino was absolutely pissed. Now, this is a quote, not even from the Jonathan Ross show. This is another quote, but I'm going to get back to the Jonathan Ross show in just a second. But this is what Tarantino said when asked previously about it. He said, I never saw Casino Royale because I was so mad at those guys. They said publicly that Casino Royale was unfilmable. Then on the Jonathan Ross show, Tarantino said they did Casino Royale because of me. I was gonna do it. It was because of me, okay? Right? I love doing Tarantino impression. So he was still pissed. Now, Jonathan Ross took the mickey out of Tarantino and said, oh, well, it's all for you. You know, all because of you, and the audience had a bit of a laugh. And then Tarantino explained the story that he took the idea to Pierce Brosnan, and then the producers didn't go with it, and they threw the idea out, but then they go and make the Bond film. And Tarantino specifically said he would want to do it with Pierce Brosnan. Now, I think the reason he wanted to do it with Pierce Brosnan is because, let's face it, even though Die Another Day was crap, it was still a massive financial hit. And Brosnan seemed like he was going to be Bond in a fifth contracted James Bond film. So Tarantino was smart by getting in with Brosnan, because what happened? Brosnan took the whole idea to Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson. So he was smart in saying he wanted to do it with Brosnan, and he probably fell in love with the idea of doing it with Brosnan because, well, Brosnan was the Bond at the time and he didn't want to upset the apple cart. Now, he also said he loved Brosnan in the Bond films, but he thought that the James Bond films, the Brosnan Bond films, did Brosnan a disservice at the time. I put this little fella to sleep, haven't I? He's so not getting paid for being my co-host. You little disgrace. Come on, wake up. We're talking Tarantino. You don't go to sleep talking about Tarantino. So, it's really, I think the whole thing is really, really, really interesting. And the fact that Tarantino really wanted Brosnan to be it. And I think people are like, they see Brosnan in the 4 Bond films he did. He would not have been like that in a Tarantino Bond film. There's no way. If you have a look at Pierce Brosnan in The Fourth Protocol, and I've never seen all of The Fourth Protocol, but I've seen many clips from it, scenes, a trailer, etc., and he had a real edge to him. And even if you look at Brosnan in The Matador, you know, which is a kind of gangster comedy film, and it's an incredible film. If you haven't seen The Matador, check it out, guys. Probably Brosnan's best ever performance. And if you have a look at sections of that, he's a psycho in it. So he could have done an absolute psycho Bond. And also, if you have a look at the fantastic kind of rip-off Bond film, The November Man, that he did with Australian director Roger Donaldson, Pierce Brosnan is brilliant. And guys, if you have not seen The November Man, look up the trailer after you finish watching this video, which you're going to give a like to as well. Thanks, guys. Look up the trailer, and then after that, don't download it, don't stream it, just buy it. Even go on eBay, whatever, order a copy of The November Man. It is a brilliant film, and Brosnan in that, in parts, plays an absolute psycho killer. He's a former, I believe it's CIA from memory, CIA spy, and he is a ruthless killer. So that gives you an image of what Tarantino's Brosnan as Bond would have been. Now, I'm going to finish this up by saying this, and I reckon this is going to excite a lot of fans if it happened. And if Barbara Broccoli ever watches this, I am calling out to you, Barbara Broccoli. Please listen to me. There's one thing I know. I know film, and I know James Bond is, you can probably tell. And obviously you do too. You've been in the series so long. It's in your blood. I get it, right? Let Tarantino direct a James Bond film. No Time to Die hasn't even been released. Go to Tarantino and say, we're going to give you the keys. You can do them. I don't know what you've got planned after No Time to Die. My gut is, and potential spoiler warning for anyone, my gut is that James Bond dies at the end of No Time to Die, and you're going to run that current series with Nomi, okay? It's never going to work. Fans are not going to cross to that. And then maybe you're thinking, oh, we'll do another Bond series here, and we'll do that series there. It is not going to work. You're going to kill the golden goose. What I think you should do, right, if you want a big fresh start, give Tarantino a 3-picture deal for a 3-part trilogy, and do specifically 2 novels that have never been done properly. Give him the 3-book start trilogy. Give Tarantino Casino Royale, make him a deal. Say, we'll give you Casino Royale, but you got to do a trilogy. Casino Royale, Live and Let Die, and Moonraker. Every James Bond fan wants to see an Ian Fleming version of Moonraker. Okay? Tarantino's name on these films alone will generate you $200+ million easy, just there. He'll keep them low budget for you. He'll keep them all about Bond, all about character, and when we do get action, it will be incredible. And when the guys in Casino Royale novel, that explosion near the start of the novel, outside the casino area, can you imagine Tarantino doing that and the build-up to that, where the bombers are planning that and everything, the guys, and you don't know what they're doing? Imagine how Tarantino would do that. And then imagine Live and Let Die with shark killing and, Mr. Big. Imagine all of that. Tarantino doing Live and Let Die. And where Casino Royale would be the slower build-up and then more action at the end of it, like there is in the novel, and the car roll and all that. And then Live and Let Die would be that middle meat in the sandwich, but action. Kind of what Mark Forster was trying to do with Quantum of Solace, but it would have more character, some great dialogue, and incredible action. And then Moonraker. Moonraker done properly as per the novel. And I know that with Tarantino's injection of humour, of intensity, he would bring out the Fleming as well. He'd combine the best of him with the best of Fleming. That is what I want to see, and I reckon so many fans would love that. Now, if you want to do that, if you're just planning on replacing Daniel Craig, fine, do that and carry that series on. And I hope you do that, or if you're just doing a complete reboot, do your reboot. But make this a separate entity. You've still got the rights. You guys get someone else to produce it. Have Quentin Tarantino bring on Lawrence Bender or another producer. You guys fund it, you guys back it, but you don't have to produce it. You can be just executive producers and let Tarantino do Casino Royale, Live and Let Die, and Moonraker. And that's his film series, and we've got that. And then you guys, with Michael G. Wilson's sons, I think it's Greg and David, they can carry on and continue with yourself, Barbara, continue whatever you're planning to do. That is what I think needs to be done. There'd be low budget, and in a COVID age where it could go to streaming, or hopefully to the cinemas, lower budget, and you'd make money back. A lot of money back. And the talk of the town with Tarantino doing this, the hype alone would be insane. Guys, that's what I've got for you on that one. Love to know in the comments below what you think of this, and I hope you watch the entire video to pick up and listen to all the points, and I hope I've convinced you, because remember, when I'm saying let Tarantino do it, I'm saying potentially let him do it as a separate entity. They're still James Bond films, but they don't have to be in a continuation if that's not the way they're going. And as far as casting, I would love it if Tarantino cast Matthew Good, or even the son of Jeremy Irons. Max Irons, I believe, could make a very interesting James Bond. Now, my friend Frank Hughes got me onto Max Irons, so I'm having a look at him as a potential James Bond. He's got a real kind of chiseled jaw. I think he could really look like Bond, scrub up well in a suit, in a tuxedo, as James Bond. Now, guys, I want to finish the video by sending out a very special shout out to my good and dear friend Anthony Taberner. So Anthony Taberner, hello mate, how are you? Now, Anthony lost his mum Phyllis very recently, and over the years Anthony always used to talk to me about his mum. He'd always talk about hasn't got his fecking glasses and talking to his fecking mum. And unfortunately, around Christmas time last year, Anthony lost his mum, who passed away. So big shout out to you, Anthony. Big hugs here from the James Bond Show and from Double O Scooby. You've been a loyal subscriber here, and also on the James Bond page, James Bond Fans with Love as well. You've always been loyal and contributed there as well. So hearts go out to you. I know it's a few months on now, and I just found this news out recently. But God bless, and hopefully Phyllis is resting in peace and in a very good place. Till next time, guys, keep on bonding and say hi to your mum for me. I just realised it's probably not, or a little bit poignant now. God bless, guys. Go on, Stevie.